So I'd like to jump right in and welcome the head of Streamlining Promotion from Dentsu, Mr. Hajime Koyanagi.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, chaps. こんにちは。こんにちは。What a great day yesterday. Congratulations, Daniel-san and UiPath members. You made it. So today we have been recognizing that we are living in a very exciting era of mankind where unprecedented technology are advancing every day. Our work can be and will certainly be replaced and empowered by robots. This movement is also happening in Japan nowadays, or I could say Japan is now back to an advanced country on this matter. It is not solely the exploration and the application of new technologies, it's rather due to the necessity, severe necessity, especially for the reasons we will foresee in this presentation, in which I'd like to introduce an approach in the digital labor transformations. There are to solve two crucial issues we face in Japan, one of which is namely the overwork in the workplace, and the other is the population aging or population decay as a nation. We tackle these issues with the help of UiPath-san. So let me start the presentation. First, let me introduce our company and myself. Anybody from the advertising industry? Oh, see how our industry is eager. Thank you very much. How our industry is eager to promote the efficiency. So we Dentsu, Dentsu is Japan's largest advertising agency. It's 117 years old. It became, 5 years ago, we formed the Dentsu Aegis Network, Aegis Group, which had been headquartered here in London, and which now proudly have over 50,000 employees spread into 300 offices in 145 countries all over the world. And more than half of gross profit consists of international out of Japan business, and it is blooming so fast. Our gross profit is ranked 5th globally, following so-called Big Four mega agency group, including WPP Group, led by the famous Sir Martin Sorrell, and myself, for a bit. Thank you. My current responsibility is the business process transformation, or I like this word, streamlining promotion of Dentsu Tokyo headquarters. I had joined the Japan domestic Dentsu long before the alliance with Aegis has been made. It's actually 30 years of career in this one and single domestic company. It has been normal. Inside the company, I started my career as a TV media salesperson and account and finance. I acquired the title of CPA and certified management accountants. It's very normal. Inside the company, experience various jobs and being trained up to be a good journalist for the company, not for the industry. This, no news when you are observing Japan and entities and us employees around my age. 30 years career, so makes me, I'm 52 years old right now. So this is called lifetime employment and seniority system in Japan. Very famous system. Some decades ago, it was literally lifetime because people in Japan died before 70, after being employed until 55. But now Japanese government forces the Japanese companies employing people until 65. However, our lifetime has been expanded. We normally live more than 80, maybe nearly 90. But anyway, still called lifetime, focusing on our mindset that to change companies we work is they are regarded to be a loser in Japan. So winners, to change companies, not what winners always do. This mindset has been fostered by many reasons, one of which is, believe it or not, one of which is our government's policy to strictly restrict laying off the employees. This rule has stabilized society in the past. And second industrial revolution era, it's a heavy industry era. We Japanese made good and cheap steels, good and cheap cars, automobiles, home appliances. However, after the third or so-called fourth revolution, it's been the era of globalization and digitalization, and this stabilization is now nothing more than an obsolete control model, which prevents new ideas or revolutionized transformation to take place. This spiral is moving toward the negative direction at the rapid speed, and it's inhibiting the economic growth at the fundamental level. This shows GDP share movement. This is 30 years ago, and so it's not Japanese economy is absolutely shrunk. This shows a relatively share. Our GDP has stayed just same for 30 years. So GDP share had dropped drastically, yielding our neighbor, our great neighbor, China. And the other nations share to grow relatively. So now we are on to the first issue, the overwork. Our Prime Minister Abe. I'm sure most of you have at least heard about the phrase Japanese work too much. And that's because of overwork is called karoshi. It's on the English dictionary. It's Ministry of Health and Labor defines overwork limit at the 80 hours per month. 80 hours per month. It's not that the total work hour. We work 80 hours plus the regular work time. And so the 80 hours plus about 160 hours regular work. Some of you might be aware of the Dentsu incident, where regretfully one of our employees took her life due to overwork. It happened that her overwork hour of more than 100 per month. So this This is the the ratio of the overworked employees over 49 hours per week by the developed nations. Sadly, we are winning by approximately 3 times more than Finland. It clearly depicts that we are overworking, but あれ欠けてるな。But this is UK. have to notice. UK is following us. And the figure on the right, the blue line is the number of deaths by overwork, karoshi, which showed about 20% increase between the 2012 to 2015 span. While the rank of the red line is the rank of GDP per person against other developed nations, it's dropped from rank 11 to rank 20. It almost indicates as if more we work, less the GDP per person becomes. Let's not laugh. So, how does this occur? We believe, so there are many reasons that we believe. One of the reasons is that in order to keep our lifetime employment and seniority system, we should work not very efficiently. Every single worker should have a million things he or she hasn't done yet. This illusion of the vast inventory of work and mutually disguising very, very busy, this continuously sustain and firmly reproduce the premise no employee should be fired due to the lack of job inventories. It's just like the prisoner's dilemma problem. No one can rationally betray the rule of this game. So back to the Dentsu incident. There is a president. It awakened the Japanese government to come to realize that the issue underlies not at the company level, but the actions are needed to be made at the higher cross-organizational layer and at the political level. We as Dentsu do not take this incident lightly and reacted immediately to limit work time until 10 p.m. at night and turn off the light at 10 p.m. Candle lights are strictly prohibited for the safety reason. I know many of you are wondering that 10 p.m. is still too late at night. So Dentsu building has been a symbol of non-sleeping, hardworking Tokyo companies. We have been the symbol of winners. But now our building is the symbol of work-life balance. You can notice the lights surrounding buildings still turning on, suggesting it may take some more time for them to swallow the concept of the work-life balance for them. So our commitment. Dentsu recently made the official announcement claiming that we will eradicate overwork by year 2019, 1 year before the Tokyo Olympic Games, to cut off the overtime to not 80 hours, which is, as I said, the legal regulation limit, but to 45 hours per month. It's about 2 hours per working day. The average annual work hours per person will be reduced from 2,200 plus of year 2016 to 18,000, 1800, by the end of the year 2019. So please recall the devastating fact that the more we work, less the GDP per person becomes. Well, our Prime Minister, Abe, who won the recent general election by the landslide, backed up the huge support of the nation, Japanese people, now strongly intends to contradict our rooted classic methodology entirely in the way. There's no why for this work style reform. I'm not representing the Japanese government. The question we need to, or the ruling party, the question we need to ask and solve should be, should be how? How do we not only sustain but regain the competitive edge and regrow amongst the other nations while reducing the work time? So after the incident, we promptly took actions other than turning the lights off, one of which was to bring robots, digital labor, to our workforce. That is, for the employees will have less overwork, having their jobs done more efficiently, of course, and go home early, free from the prisoner's dilemma. We initialized our automation process since March this year, and have already built about 400 robots. Yes, actually it's 370 robots currently working, active, and targeting by the end of this year 400. And they already saved or created more than 10,000 hours monthly. So the keynote Daniel-san made this morning reminded us that we are accounting for a considerable share of the active RPA of UiPath. We Dentsu and SMBC-san are accounting for more than 10% of the active robots of UiPath currently. And reminded me why I'm invited here. Right after 20 hours flight from Tokyo and fly back to Tokyo tomorrow morning. So Japan Airlines started crazy service. The flight which takes off Tokyo at 3 a.m. and land Heathrow at 6 a.m. It's been exactly 24 hours since I left my home in Tokyo. So anyway, we plan by 2019 to have 2,500 robots in operations. This number, again, the Japan representative of UiPath, Koichi-san, would not want to be known by Daniel-san to avoid robust future budget. But it's his mistake. He failed to accompany with me and have me talk here all alone. And after all, our plan is getting well known widely. This is actually the scraps from the last week's business magazine in Japan, published by Nikkei Group. Some of you might know that Nikkei is now collaborating with the Financial Times. Okay, so to be serious, our work of bringing in the RPA, proliferation of RPA, we believe, will truly change our work-life balance problem. However, there are other issues surrounding us. The reason why we really need digital labor transformation. I dare say the work style reform is kind of a short-term issue, or really the challenge or conundrum, very hard to solve, is the issue of our aging problem. So this slide shows the growth of global population as a whole, which is the left chart, versus that of the Japan on the right scale. The scale is different, but clearly we can witness that while the world population is growing, Japanese population had already hit the top. In 2010, and since then it's gradually decreasing. Every day we see 2,800 babies every day in Japan, and farewell to 300 and 700 people passing away, which means we are losing 900 Japanese people per day, which makes 330,000, 330,000 Japanese people population decay annually. In order to regain a competitive edge in the world, for that matter, measures must be taken to search for substitutes for human workforce. So, the inflation of the elderly population is not only the problem of Japan. This has been one of the concerning issues in the entire world. It's gradually increasing in the rate of 8%. But however, the right chart shows the surprising figure in Japan of estimated 28 increase of the elderly population toward 2035. The decrease in total number, Japanese population of 18 years old. The decrease in total number and the increase of elderly automatically make the decrease of the youth. And this chart exactly shows that. Again, by 2032, we estimate the decay of the number of youths by 40% when compared to that of 1956. The population of 18 years old will shrink to less than 1 million. Like I said, we see that every day 2,800 babies, which makes 1 million babies annually. Yes. So, this makes the IT, for example, IT human resource will be scarce as a consequence. Not only IT industry, and all industry will face a severe situation. Of course, our advertising industry cannot be an exception. And by 2053, almost half of Japanese population will be aged over 65. Meaning younger generation need to work so efficiently and effectively. We are laughing. It's called the 2033 problem in Japan. The major factors caused by the relative inflation of aging population are the increase of dementia, for example, and the decrease of medical care and so on. So, okay, back to the Dentsu's mission. Considering the problems just introduced, we now need to redefine our mission, not only the short-term issues, but also the aging population and its surrounding issues as well, which means we are required to proceed much larger scope of the digital labor transformation, involving further than solely implementing the generic RPA, but the augmentation aspect as well as the supportive AI. So now that we have identified two issues, the work style reform as well as the aging population, And our mission to countermeasure them, I will introduce how we are proceeding to tackle them. At first, we need to transform our work style of the being employed style. We never say employment style. Being employed style, the traditional lifetime employment, and bring all available scarce workforce flexibly liquidated to the requiring workplace. Then we also need to transform our organizational hierarchy based on seniority. But those systems are deeply rooted in the culture DNA, so it cannot be easily changed. We need to somehow break through these blockers. And although we believe the digital labor transformation of the RPA will not suffice in a company or in a society because we believe that digital labor transformation will be the key to overcome them. We know the simple implementation of RPA will not suffice in a company or in a society because simple replacement of human labor is far from the right answer or sufficient solution to a serious situation. So again, as we cannot and do not fire employees, the RPA system employment should not be the simple replacement of human resource to machines. Instead, Dentsu, a leading advertising company, should keep telling employees, persuading employees to be more creative and lastly, being a large entity, our processes and operations are full of varieties, which means only the simple implementation of PA to the back office will only help a small portion of the entire structure. That will make our situation a little bit more complicated compared with those of the companies such as the financial institutions. Which is why we think the combination of the augmentational PA and the supportive AI will be the key solution for us. With the term augmentation in the aim of RPA supporting the user's tasks rather than replacing them. The coming RPA, should I say 2.0, will be the key to enable such a solution. And together with UiPath, we shall achieve a true digital labor transformations. As for RPA with the supportive AI, today we already have had a lot of useful presentations. So here I show a small example of how we are deploying RPA with the supportive AI. As is, currently at each touch point, the processes are run by simple RPA robots. However, there are some instances where human intervention is inevitable. If you consider only the simple capability of each RPA, so we introduced the AI to support the connections between simple RPA robots. We can fill the gaps. So employees will no longer need to focus on the operation since the AI plays a role as a bridge and all the process flow flawlessly. This elimination of human intervene and reduces the stress and our employees become able to concentrate on the tasks that require more creativity. It may appear as just one gap fill operation, but since all the processes are now connected, it drastically improves the work environment and operations. So far in the past few months, 10 months, we have very, very rapidly implemented robots to replace our simple tasks to automate processes. As of now, we are at the phase 1, in this diagram, where we have identified the processes that could be replaced by simple robots. And it's 2018, but we have already started the phase 2 implementation of the augmentation RPA and supportive AI at the operational level transformation. This doesn't mean we will stop implementing basic simple RPAs, but we will put more effort going forward. The output and the goal for 2018 is the transforming our cross operations. And we also expect that placing the augmentation RPA will ease out the hassle of managing all different types of robots. We have been so careful not to have them, our employees, misunderstand that RPAs are robbing them of their jobs. It's not that. We repeatedly persuading thousands of members that by RPA, especially the RPA powered by AI and cognitives, you will be augment, get free from non-value adding routine job, and be able to focus on much more valuable and creative works. All this could not have been accomplished without the help of, again, UiPath-san. And I would like to express my personal appreciation. Thank you very much. So in closing, I would like to address the future goals from the large perspective. We pursue the measures against the overwork, crunch problem. Second, we'll go to the step further from the traditional digital transformation, but bring the augmentation of PA with the supportive AI to our workplace. And the last, but not least, we will transform the internal workplace. And as we are we had been icon of a hard worker in Tokyo. If we can really change, it will lead to the transformation of our entire society. Thank you very much. Arigato.
Thank you very much. That was very good. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you.